Good morning. I'm Terry, and this is TARDIS Spider. We're going to continue our series of videos on monsters and aliens in Doctor Who. Today, it will be insects and plants. Now, the category originally was insects, plants, and animals, but this became too long for a single video, so we will just go with insects and plants. Now, all will be graded on a 10-point scale. 3 points for costume, 3 points for importance to story, 3 points for power, 1 point overall for tiebreaker and/or I just like it. Now, before we start, think of this. A child cannot have a favorite book if he does not have a book. Lots of homes don't have libraries. I don't mean hundreds of books and volumes. I mean 5 or 10 books that a child can go to and find a favorite. There are ways for you to put books in the hands of children. Please remember, it's one of the things you can do to help, and not just yourself, but everyone. So let's return to plants and insects and see where these aliens and monsters will take us. Insects and plants. Let us begin with the Menoptera, the Zarbi, the Animus, and others from the Webb Planet. The Menoptera are a cross between bees and butterflies. They are the slaves of the Animus. The Zarbi are giant chirping ants. They are under the mind control of the Animus, and he uses them as guards. The Animus is the intelligence behind all the problems that the planet Vortis faces. He is filmed under a glaring light, and we can barely see him. Other bugs in this story would include the larvae guns and the burrowing bugs, but we will only score the Menoptera and the Zarbi. The Menoptera score 3 points for costume, some of the most beautiful costumes in the history of Doctor Who. Power, 0 points. Importance to story, 1 point. The Menoptera score 4 points. The Zarbi, costume, 1 point. Giant ants with human legs sticking out underneath is a poor costume. Power, 0 points. Importance to story, 1 point. That's 2 points for the Zarbi. Next would be the Wirren. Existing in deep space, landing only for breeding and food, they land on Space Station Nerva. Planning to use the sleepers for their next generation, they are stopped by what is left of Noah and the Doctor. Costume, 1 point. There are 2 stages of costume for a Wirren. When Noah was infected and converting into a Wirren, they wrapped him in green spray-painted bubble wrap. Terrible. And the adult Wirren is not much better, if not worse. It excuse my expression, a piece of poop with bug parts planted on it like a Mr. Potato Head. 1 point for costume, 1 point for power, 2 points for importance to story. The Wirren score 4 points. The spiders of Metebelis 3, or 8 legs as they prefer. Upon arriving on Metebelis 3 with the colonists, the spiders make their way to the Crystal Mountains, where their minds and bodies are enlarged, and they gain telepathic powers. They will now control the humans and use them as food. They will travel to Earth to recover a crystal stolen by the Third Doctor. Costumes, 1 point. Power, 3 points. Importance to story, 2 points. 6 points for the spiders of Metebelis 3. Mestor. Mestor is a giant gastropod with mind reading and mind control abilities. He has a plan to explode a star, destroying the planet Joconda, incubating his eggs, and spreading them throughout the universe. This plan is spoiled by the 6th Doctor. Costume, 1 point. Powers, 2 points. Importance to story, 2 points. Overall, 5 points for Mestor. Next would be the Screaming Jungle. Now, I had planned to use the Screaming Jungle as it was an entire episode from the Keys of Marinus, but after scoring it came out a 0, so we moved on. The next we will face is the Crinoid. Traveling in pairs from deep space, this intelligent parasitic weed fell to Earth and were frozen in the permafrost. The first, eventually destroyed by the Doctor, burst, infecting its human host and converting him into a crinoid, a carnivorous plant which, when fully grown, spores, releasing thousands of pods into the atmosphere. The second crinoid, taller than a house and controlling the surrounding plant life, was destroyed by jets prior to germination. The crinoid receives 2 points for costume, 2 points for power, 2 points for importance to story, 6 overall points. The next would be Meglos. Meglos is the last of the Zolfathurans, and was a green cactus-like alien with the ability to possess and alter his appearance. Aided by the Gastax, he immobilized the Doctor, impersonated him, and stole the dodecahedron. Returning with it to the shields of Zolfathura, his own highly destructive invention, he perished on his home planet in an explosion engineered by the Doctor. Meglos scores 0 points for costume, 2 points for power, 1 point for importance to story, 3 overall points. Overall, both the crinoid and the Spiders of Melobilis 3 scored 6 points. So I will give the Spiders of Melobilis 3 1 point overall, making them the winner in this category. The next video will be animals. In closing, let's refer Kevin McNally from Twin Dilemma, in which he plays Hugo Lang. Kevin can be found in all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, playing Mr. Gibbs. He also can be found throughout 90s BBC, Midsummer Murders, New Tricks, etc., etc. So join Kevin McNally in the Twin Dilemma and all of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies.